Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Wednesday, October 28, 2020. For today's editorial, the Department of Agriculture should not bend to agricultural group bullying. According to news reports this week, the agricultural group Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG has threatened to sue the Department of Agriculture or DA if it does not halt imports of meat products within 30 days. The DA, which has worked very hard to foster a productive relationship with various agricultural advocacies, should dismiss this threat without comment, which it does not really deserve. Of course, the letter sent by SINAG to Agriculture Secretary William Dar does not say halt meat imports in so many words, but that is the substance of the group's complaint. What the letter does spell out specifically is an accusation that the DA is failing to provide sufficient meat inspection facilities as required by Republic Act or RA 10611 or the Food Safety Act, thereby exposing the domestic meat industry to imported animal diseases. In the letter, which was signed by SINAG Chairman Rosendo So, SINAG blamed the DA for allowing the spread of African swine fever or ASF, other animal diseases such as avian influenza, and rising pork prices by not conducting proper inspections of imported agricultural and food products at Philippine ports. Without any quarantine control at the port of first entry, we remain vulnerable for the further spread of the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 pandemic. ASF and avian flu, since imports of all kinds, frozen, chilled, processed, cooked or raw, are easily brought into the country, SINAG said. According to Section 12 of RA 10611, all imported food must be inspected and cleared by the DA and the Department of Health or DOH before proceeding to the Bureau of Customs or BOC for assessment of tariffs. However, in spite of the DOH and BOC sharing some measure of responsibility with the DA, SINAG apparently has not raised any of its concerns with either of those agencies. A further statement in SINAG's letter to the DA reveals why they have not. It is ironic that the DA remains ambivalently strict in the movement of local agricultural products in the country, but continues to allow the unhampered entry of agricultural imports. So there it is. It is not really an issue of potentially unsafe food imports, but a complaint that there are imports at all. Otherwise, SINAG's statement really would be ironic, coming as it does after the DA, acting in not at all an ambivalent manner, has established a policy of aggressively blocking imports at the first sign of health risk to either Filipino humans or their animal industries. Having failed to inspire any public outcry over the supposed competitive harm from food and other agricultural imports, the majority of Filipinos, as it turns out, seem to like having adequate supplies of reasonably priced food. SINAG has tried to raise the bugaboo of potential infectious diseases to make a weak case for protectionism, based as it is on a misrepresentation of DA policy and action as well as a gross exaggeration of the supposed threat. It fails miserably once again. In terms of the actual issue of inspections, the DA has moved to upgrade its capabilities even though it is doing an adequate job at the moment, precisely because there are increasing threats of contamination. The DA has blocked the entry of imports of poultry products in the recent past due to the threat of the avian flu and most recently banned imports of pork from Brazil due to an outbreak of ASF there. This may in fact ironically be the cause of current high meat prices, contrary to SINAG's charge that the lack of sufficient inspection is somehow responsible for them. In response to SINAG's accusations, Bureau of Animal Industry Director Ronnie Domingo pointed out in a statement that the DA is already further developing improved agricultural commodity examination areas or ACEA for 5 major ports. The ACEA upgrade for the Port of Manila alone, to be located at the Manila International Container Terminal, has a budget of some 522 million pesos and is only waiting for approval from the Philippine Ports Authority to be constructed. Other improved facilities are in the works for the ports of Davao, Cebu, Subic, and Batangas. And that's the editorial for Wednesday, October 28, 2020. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.